Scala has two kinds of variables, mutable and immutable. Immutable variables are declared using the while keyword. These are the variables that cannot be changed. Once declared, they stay the same forever. The variable x in this program is immutable, and it is assigned the value of 0, so it is going to stay as 0 for the entirety of the program. There are also mutable variables in Scala. These ones are declared using the var keyword. Mutable variables can be changed or mutated throughout the program. The variable y here can be changed. Normally, immutable variables are preferred way to program in Scala. One major advantage is that since they stay the same forever, it is much easier to reason about the program. Whenever you see x, you know that it will be of the same value. Whenever you see y, you have no guarantees of what value it will have. Most programs work with stuff that needs to happen on a certain condition. If the button is pressed, then the post needs to be sent to Instagram. If a new message is received, then show the user a new notification. Conditions are everywhere in programming. In Scala, we express conditions using the if statement. The if statement is followed by the condition. The condition is followed by then keyword. After the then keyword, you write what needs to happen if that condition is true. Then you can optionally write the else statement followed by what needs to happen if that condition is false. The program will always follow either the then branch or the else branch. You can flip the condition for the program to follow the other branch. Multiple conditions can be unified into one condition. For example, in Scala you can express the condition if the shopping is not yet done, but the shop is closing. The exclamation sign before the condition negates the condition. The double ampersand operator is read as an AND operator, and it means one condition and another condition. Another construct that is frequently encountered in programming is loop. A loop is a chunk of code that needs to be executed over and over again until a certain condition is met. In Scala, we have a while loop to do so. A while loop is started using the while keyword. The while loop is followed by a condition. As the name suggests, the code in the loop will be executed while the condition is truthful. The condition is followed by the do keyword. After the do keyword, you write the code that needs to be executed in the loop. Note that only the indented code is a part of the loop. The println countdown complete statement is not the part of the loop. Another important concept is that of a list. A list is a data structure that contains multiple items of a certain type. This is a list of numbers from 1 to 5. There are a lot of things you can do with a list. You can use for each method defined on a list to execute code for each item of a list. For example, you can use for each to print every item of a list. You may be familiar from other programming languages with the for loop. In Scala, the for each method replaces the traditional for loop. Besides executing logic on every element of the list, you can transform lists into other lists. In Scala, lists are immutable, which means they are unchanged once defined. This means to transform a list, you need to create a copy of the list, and the original list remains unchanged. You can use the met method to transform a list by specifying how each individual item of the list needs to be transformed. For example, you can obtain a list of squares of some list of numbers by specifying how to square every individual number in that list. You can also filter a list using certain condition. In that case, you will get a list where every element of that list satisfies that condition. You can check if certain element is contained by the list. You can check if there is an element that satisfies a certain condition in the list using the exists method. The exists method, when called on the list, will be truthful if there is at least one element in the list that satisfies a condition. If you want to ensure that every element in the list satisfies a certain condition, then you need to use for all method. It is possible to reverse the order of the elements of the list using the list.reverse method. There are many more operations that you can do on lists in Scala. The full list of all supported operations you can find in the official API documentation of the list.